This is infuriating. You can both feel like running backs should be paid more based upon playing a car crash position in the National Football League, contact on every single play, and simultaneously understand it does not make sense to pay them more. Let's start with the history of it all. You got to go back to 2016 to find the last time a Super Bowl roster had a 1,000-yard rusher. That was LeGarrette Blount and the 2016 Patriots. Keep in mind, the Patriots have won a Super Bowl since then, and Tom Brady, the quarterback at the time, has won 2 Super Bowls since then. You got to go back to 2013 to find the last time there was a Pro Bowl running back on a Super Bowl roster. That is Marshawn Lynch. 1999 to find the last time in Marshall Faulk there was a first-team All-Pro running back on a Super Bowl roster. Meanwhile, Josh Jacobs, Derrick Henry, Nick Chubb, 3 leading rushers last year. Raiders, Josh Jacobs, 6-11. Derrick Henry, Nick Chubb, Browns, Titans, both 7-10. Think about the teams that have even won the Super Bowl last year. Isaiah Pacheco, a 7th-round running back out of Rutgers. The year before, a leading rusher, I believe it was a combination of Henderson and Sony Michel. The year before, it was Leonard Fournette. I don't even think he eclipsed the 500 rushing yard mark. I mean, come on, y'all. I believe the year before, I think it was Damian Williams of the Chiefs who had 498 rushing yards. You can both be mad that running backs aren't getting paid enough, but have enough business and fiscal sense, have enough of an understanding of business economics to realize the why.
Acho is 150% correct. You see, the problem with fans and even with some players is that they refuse to understand that the only reason the NFL exists is because it makes money. It's not here for your pure entertainment. The owners aren't spending billions of dollars to just put out entertainment. The bottom line is they're here to make money. I know it's a very harsh reality for some, but it's true. That trumps everything. Business trumps fandom, period. There's no other reason to even own an NFL team. Unfortunately, every single running back that's all pissed off today has to understand one thing. As Hiram Roth once said in The Godfather, this is the business we've chosen. Sorry for the grunting there, but it's absolutely true. You got into this business. You chose to become an NFL running back. You could have went and maybe gone to med school or done something else with your life, but you chose to be an NFL running back. You knew all too well what the CBA was with the NFLPA. You knew what these teams were going to do well before you showed up to camp as a rookie. Devon A-Chain right now is a rookie with the Miami Dolphins. He's looking at this landscape and going, I got a couple years, and that's probably going to be it. These guys are going to do the same thing to me when I get in my 3rd and 4th and 5th year. This is the business you've chosen. Fans, this is it. You got to applaud Dalvin Cook's entire organization. They've done a masterful job of trying to market him and bringing him to the Miami Dolphins and to drum up his value. And the plug just got pulled on that entire marketing scheme yesterday. It's over. It's done. Unless these players want to hold out and want to use the media to their advantage and they think that fans are going to stay behind them, that ain't going to work either. I can tell you right now, there ain't a season ticket holder in New York, there ain't a season ticket holder in Las Vegas, and there's not a season ticket holder in Dallas that's going to turn their tickets back in unless they sign Saquon, Josh Jacobs, or Tony Pollard. Or in the Miami Dolphins case, Dalvin Cook. Ain't gonna happen. And if that were to happen, those tickets that they turn in would be sold like that. Instantly. Those season tickets would be sold immediately. This is the business of the NFL. What's the alternative? I don't know. I don't know if these running backs would get together and start causing a bitch and try to force the owner's hand. But there's a whole crop of college kids coming back in next year as well.
The running back market is broken. It is different than any other position in the NFL. And that is a massive issue that the NFL has to fix. They're going to have to sit down as a group and understand or try to fix how they change what is going on with the running back market. Because what you're going to see is there's not going to be a lot of young kids that play running back anymore because it's not really worth what their future could be. If the Giants tag Saquon and he plays on it this year, and they tag him again, he'll have to play 7 years in the NFL before ever getting the chance to hit true free agency. That's absurd. 7 years in a league where when teams identify we drafted a good young talent, teams do everything they can to get guys on a second and or third contract before the end of that initial contract, before they have the chance to hit free agency. With the running back market, with Saquon, it's completely different. We just want to get you drafted. We want to get you to the end of your contract, and then we want to tag you. And then we want to tag you again and let you go on your way. And that is why the NFL has to realize it's a broken system right now.
There are a ton of rookies in training camp right now. How many of them are running backs? I don't know. You have USFL players, you have XFL players, you have a ton of free agent possibilities, and I don't think you're going to be able to hold the NFL over a barrel here. I don't think so. Not going to happen. And obviously the running backs are completely pissed off. Check out what some of these guys said. But before we check out what they said, let me go ahead and recap something that was said yesterday. So if you look at this Jeff Darlington tweet he put out there, brutal as it might be, here's what one GM told me about his current take on running backs. Quote, I don't think this trend of diminishing contracts for the position is going to end anytime soon. I'd rather draft one high and let him walk after 5 years rather than pay him any big money. That's one hell of a definitive statement. If I was a running back, yeah, I would be freaking out. And then Adam Schefter posted this. With no long-term deals for Saquon, Josh, and Tony Pollard, the last time a running back signed a long-term contract worth $10 million or more per year was Nick Chubb in 2021, 716 days ago. So the running backs in the NFL have no one to blame but themselves because they've let this go on for over 2 years, nearly 2 years since the last running back was able to cash in big. Saquon Barkley tweeted this, it is what it is. Yes, it is. I will agree with you. But what are you going to do to change it? You knew when you signed your rookie contract what was going to happen. Every single rookie coming into the NFL, especially if you're a running back, know what's going to happen in 3 or 4 years. Now you are where you are. What do? I don't know. Next up was Najee Harris from Alabama, who also knew when his rookie contract got signed what was coming up. He says, I agree with my running back brothers around the NFL. History will show that you need running backs to win. No, history actually shows you just the opposite, which I'll show you. We set the tone every game and run through walls for our team and lead in many ways. This notion that we deserve less is a joke. Well, I disagree. I don't think you deserve less. I don't think it's something where they're like, you're just not, we don't pay running backs like that. I think it's a matter of fiscal responsibility. They're learning that running back value just isn't what it used to be. Do you deserve more? If you put up big numbers, I think you deserve it based on that scale, but does it make business? Does it make good economic sense to pay you more? And then Jonathan Taylor from the Colts tweeted, if you're good enough, they'll find you. If you work hard enough, you'll succeed. If you succeed, you boost the organization. And then it doesn't matter that you're running back. Well, obviously it does. See, this is what these guys aren't absorbing. I agree with their fight. I think you should be paid every dime that you are worth, but you're fighting on the back end. That's what the problem is here. You're fighting on the back end. If you fought on the front end, if you got the NFLPA to say, hey, listen, these rookie contracts are insane. We need to change these rookie contracts. Maybe you should change it then, not now. That's where the problem is. You're stuck in these rookie contracts. When you renew, you'll hear Dan Orlovsky talk about it. They just tag you a couple of times and then toss you out with the trash. That's where the problem is. You're locked into these contracts. And then Christian McCaffrey tweeted this. Now, Christian McCaffrey did get some big bucks, but he says, this is criminal. Well, it's not criminal. 3 of the best players in the entire league, regardless of position. Saquon, Tony Pollard, and Josh Jacobs. He's saying they're 3 of the best players in the entire league. Yeah, I would agree with that. But in any event, again, you're trying to fight your battle on the back end from a point of weakness. That never works out when you negotiate with somebody when they know they have you over a barrel. And next, Austin Eckler, Los Angeles Chargers running back, he tweeted this. This is the kind of trash that has artificially devalued one of the most important positions in the game. I have to stop you right there. If it's one of the most important positions in the game, how would it be devalued? That's where the problem is. You guys may have an overinflated sense of self-worth. You just said in your statement, you artificially devalued one of the most important positions in the game. The NFL is sitting back and going, no, we don't believe anymore that the running back is one of the top positions, the most important positions in the game. He continues, everyone knows it's tough to win without a top running back. No, everyone doesn't know that. I'm going to prove that to you. And yet they act like we are discardable widgets. Truth hurts. I support any running back doing whatever it takes to get his bag. Okay, that's fine. Again, negotiate on the front end, not on the back end. Now comes Derrick Henry, the big dog. At this point, just take the running back position out of the game. The ones that want to be great and work as hard as they can to give their all to an organization just seems like it don't even matter. Doesn't even matter. Don't even matter. I'm with every running back that's fighting to get, again, he says, what they deserve. The problem is this sense of entitlement. It's permeating throughout society right now where people think they deserve more than they're getting. Derrick Henry is arguably one of the best running backs in the league, maybe one of the best running backs of all time. But in our entertainment, and when everybody in baseball loves the home run, they love the long ball. Chicks love the long ball. Everybody wants to see bombs and long passes. It's not the league that devalued the running backs. It's us, fans. I'm a former offensive lineman. I love nothing more than 3 yards in a cloud of dust. I love nothing more than watching linemen just beat the crap out of the guy in front of them and move the ball 3, 4, 5 yards at a chunk. I long for the days when we did that. But unfortunately, we as fans changed the game. We decided we want the long ball. We wanted long touchdowns. We wanted high-scoring games. We didn't want games that ended 7-3. We, as fans, changed the game. We have to admit that. We no longer want a 7-3 battle. We no longer want a 10-7 battle. We want to see a lot of points. The NFL is giving what we as fans have asked for. We want to see 35, 40, 45 points a game. We want to see people throwing bombs. We want to see Tyreek heading down the field 60 and 70 yards. We did that. We're the ones who said, hey man, this game is boring. We're sitting here for 3 hours and it's only 7-3. People don't like pitching duels anymore. They don't want to see 1-0 games. They want to see games with home runs. We did that. The fans did that. The players didn't. So the league and the organizations merely gave the fans what they wanted. And unfortunately, the running backs are falling victim to that. Take a look at this chart. This chart is really telling. It goes back to 2009, and it shows the salaries of the running backs of the Super Bowl champions for the last 13-14 years. Now, I want you to put on your GM hat here, okay? Got your GM hat on? Okay, let's go. So if you've got this chart in front of you, and you can see back in 2009, Pierre Thomas for the Saints, he was their running back. He got paid $460,000. And then Ray Rice got paid $2 million in 2012. And then Percy Harvin in 2013 Seahawks got 2.5, and then it fell off the cliff. I don't know what happened in 2013, but that's where it fell off the cliff. So now you as an analyst, you're the one who crunches the numbers. And you can see that Blount in 2014 only got paid $730. And then CJ Anderson with the Broncos only got paid $585. And then Blount for the next 2 years topped out at $900,000. And then Sony Michel, who the Dolphins cut, was only paid $480,000. And on and on and on to last year, Isaiah Pacheco only got $870,000. I didn't add that all up, but you can see the average is quite low. And what you can also see is, other than, let's see, Ray Rice, there's not a whole lot of stars on that list. And Ray Rice got bounced because of his idiotic attitude and what he did with that woman. So there's no big name running backs on this list. There's nobody here on this list who's a number one rusher. There's nobody here that you're going to think is going to get a gold jacket in a couple years. Ain't going to happen. So why, as an NFL GM, as a guy who counts the numbers, would you pay an NFL running back $5, $10, $15 million a year? You wouldn't do it. I'd walk in and make the case, hey, Steve, Mr. Ross, I know, it's nice to bring in somebody like a Dalvin Cook that might help us, but data has proven to me that we don't need to. The numbers, I've crunched them, Mr. Ross. I've crunched all the numbers for the last 14 years. And nobody who has won the Super Bowl is willing to pay a running back what some of these guys are asking. I didn't do it. You didn't do it. The fans did it. The fans wanted to see the home run ball. The fans liked the high-scoring games. It used to be you needed an offensive line and a running back to get where things are. And in 2009, that changed. It completely changed. And as I said, as an offensive lineman at heart, I mourn for those days. I mourn for those days when two guys would have to just beat it out and run over each other. I loved watching Larry Little. I loved watching some of the, Mike Webster with his big arms coming out of the sleeve, just beating up on the guy in front of him. There was nothing like it. I loved the defensive guys, Mean Joe Green, and some of these guys who fought every single Sunday to make a yard or two, stop a yard or two, made a difference. It no longer is that way. This team, the entire league is completely changed. And as such, we as fans have to take the guilty verdict that we did that. If we would accept 7-3 games, 10-7 games, I guarantee you the NFL would still be running 3 yards in a cloud of dust offenses. But the spread offense, the RPOs, all that stuff that has been running lately says, hey, we don't need you. Watch what happens with tight ends. Dolphins just got rid of Gesicki and don't really have a major tight end on the roster. It's going to happen with tight ends as well. But that's because of the offenses. That's because of what fans want to see. If you love running games, if you'd love to see the Tony Dorsetts of the world, if you'd love to see the Earl Campbells of the world, that's gone. It's forever gone. We're seeing games where quarterbacks are throwing 50, 55 times a game. When I grew up, you'd never heard of that. You'd never hear that happen. Maybe 25, maybe 30, 55 times in a game the quarterback would throw? Nope, never happened. So anyway, we did that as fans. We have to live with it. And now the running backs have to live with it. Let me know what you guys think.